Hello, Black Sheep. It's Alia Ferrante, and I am going to talk today about feminism. I'm just wondering if perhaps feminism has gone a bit too far. I was watching another content creator, and he was discussing a video that he had watched of a very intelligent, educated woman who also just happened to be an OnlyFans model. She did OnlyFans. So she was having a discussion with another person, and the topic of casual sex came up, and she, made the argument of how women should be able to have sex with whomever we want, whenever we want, however we want, as often as we want. And, I think she's right. I believe her. Yes, women absolutely should be able to go out into this world and have as much sex as we want with whomever we want, however many people we want, without judgment. Because we're not hurting anyone. We like sex as much as men do. And who are the men having sex with again? Oh, yeah, women that allow them to have sex with us. So, why the judgment? However, just because we should be able to go out and do as we please, as in regards to sex and our sex lives, it's our personal business. That doesn't necessarily mean that we should still do it, I guess. Just bear with me here. I want to get my thoughts out. I always like to ask myself, what's the motive? Whenever someone says or does something that makes me uncomfortable, what is their motive for what they are saying? Or what is their motive for what they are doing? And when it comes to certain issues, I ask myself, who is the beneficiary? Who is going to benefit from this particular action? And women going out and having lots of casual sex doesn't seem like a win for feminism to me. It seems like a win for men who want women to give themselves more easily to them for sex. Because I could completely sit down and have an intellectual conversation with a man and talk about feminism and how, yes, I should be able to go out here and have sex with whomever I want, whenever I want, however much I want, 1,000,000 men if I want. And he could still sit there and completely agree with me. I agree. Women should be able to have as much sex as they want without judgment from others because he wants to have sex with me. And then he would turn around, have sex with me, and not call me the next day. I'm sorry. Life is just, my time here on this earth is too short for me to give myself so indiscriminately to just anyone. Anyone? I mean, maybe it's just me. But when it comes to polarizing issues, whether it's abortion or gun control, sex, on one hand, I think, if it's a situation where what I'm doing has absolutely no impact on the other person, then the other person needs to mind their business. That's how I feel when it comes to sex with two consenting adults. On the other hand, I think that we so easily forget the underlying issues that we should address before we come up with some solution that isn't necessarily going to work. For example, let's take public education. I only spent 1 year teaching children under the age of 18. And unless I am facing starvation, I will never do that again. I literally sat in a meeting and a principal said that she knew a star athlete could not read. This was an 8th grader. He could not read. And she said, but what am I supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? I don't know. Maybe teach him how to read. And unfortunately, he wasn't the only student in that middle school who didn't know how to read. He wasn't the only student in that middle school who was not in a special education program who did not know how to read. These were kids who, if someone had just taken more time and prioritized education, whether that be their parents, the administration, or both, then they wouldn't be passed on to the next grade. There wouldn't be a whole host of children graduating from high school lacking the basic skills they need to survive in this country. It makes no sense to me. And it also makes no sense to me that feminism would get to the point where we are siding with people who are going to use us. How are we on the same side with assholes who just want to have sex? I think the underlying issue, of course, is sexism. And so before we look at the world and start taking actions based on the world we wished we lived in, we have to face reality. We don't live in a world where we can just go out and have sex with whomever we want without judgment. That content creator called that woman a whore and a hoe, and it just made me cringe. This was an educated woman who was hurting no one, but somehow her character was tied to how many men she'd laid down with. How much sex a woman has isn't an indication of her integrity as a person, her level of intelligence, her ability to care for others. So perhaps we should start with the kids that clearly aren't being educated as well as they should be, although this country pours more money into its education system than so many other countries and is still underperforming. How about we teach those kids to treat everyone with respect? How about we teach those kids that if it's none of your business, then don't judge someone else? How about we teach those kids, boys and girls, because men and women both judge other women for their sexual behavior, that first of all, when a woman says no, it means no. Second of all, if she has no ability to say no, the answer is still no. And third, when she says yes, The response is thank you. It's not judgment. It's not calling her names. It's thank you. Thank you for giving yourself to me. I appreciate that. I don't know. What do I know? That's just me. Personally, I can't give myself to someone I'm not in a monogamous relationship with. I have to be in love with you because I know me. Once I share myself with someone, my love grows deeper. I'm not trying to get hurt today. And I'm certainly not trying to spend any of my days on this earth taking care of some type of STD that I may or may not be able to get rid of with medication. Life is too short. And then there's COVID. Like, it's unsanitary. I have to take care of me because no other man on this earth is going to do that for me. I have to take care of this body. I only have one. We have to do better, ladies. And so that's why I think feminism has just gone a bit far. With that said, please pray for me. I'm going to pray for y'all. And if you're not the praying kind, then send me some good vibes. And I'll do the same. Y'all be blessed.